Hey everyone, it's your girl, Terri Dionne Wooten-Graham of T-Dionne Enterprise Incorporated, where everyone is a star. I hope you enjoyed this piece that I'm bringing to you all. We have a lot of people in society that have been convicted of a felony. They've been convicted of a felony, and I wanted to give you some insight on what it's like for some of these individuals who, even though God has forgiven them, society won't forgive them. And I want to let you all in on the challenges of having a convicted felony on your record. And also I'm bringing to you the people, the pastors, and the people that are concerned about such individuals and are doing something about it. So I hope you enjoy this piece. Let me put it this way. Y'all better enjoy this piece. Stay tuned.
Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
Never let another soul tell you you can't. When you feel it in your chest, making money in the bank. Never base your progress off what the next man think. Cause misery love company, they want your ship to sink. One thing about succeeding, you leave some folk behind. Cause either they're underachieving or don't understand your grind. Stay focused on what you believe in. Then give yourself some time. It might take a couple seasons, but I promise you'll be fine. My homie PK always told me, go hard, it helps you rest. You can always sleep better when you know you gave your best. It comes a time in every life when it's action over word, and based on what you've done tonight, you gon' get what you deserve. I challenge everyone to move, cause you don't wanna be old, feeling like you never tried to attain your goals. I am the working class hero, simply cause I won't fold. So many Jews on this, you can call it pot of gold.
Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
Hey everyone, this is your girl, Terri Graham of the Terri Graham TV show, and I'm happy to bring you yet another community piece of some very important folk. Why do I call them important? Because they got a vision beyond this world. They got a vision that includes helping people and reaching out, in particular to folks that have society have turned their back on them and said, you know what, we're through with them, you got something on your record, we're not going to deal with you anymore. But how many know that just because society turns their back, God hasn't turned his back? What I love about this ministry that I'm here with today, LIFESAVER'S ministry, as you all saw in earlier footage, Jesus definitely is the focus. And one of my favorite sayings of this pastor, who you will meet in a moment, he says, never look down on anyone unless you're reaching down to help them up. And I love that about him, and I've been around these people, I've been around the ministry, I'm a part of their ministry, and Jesus truly is the focus, and people's lives are saved at this ministry. So I am very proud and honored to bring to you a great man of God and some other great men of God who love the Lord and realize that part of doing his work is not just behind the pulpit, but that it's getting out in what I call the trenches, doing trench work, rolling up the sleeves and seeing what they can do to fulfill that great commission, which is to go out into the hedges and highways and to compel men to come unto the Lord. So with that being said, we want to introduce you to, first of all, our wonderful pastor. Pastor, tell us your name and tell us the name of your ministry and tell us why you named it Lifesavers.
Well, my name is Reginald. I'm the pastor of LIFESAVE'S Ministries, and we named it Lifesavers because that's exactly what we're going to be doing, saving lives. And I want to welcome you, and I want to thank you, first of all, Sister Minister, for having us on today. And
Glad to.
What we're here to do today is that we have started a new ministry. It's launched through our outreach program called Looking. And it's Looking stands for Living Out Our Knowledge and Nationwide Giving. And it is incorporated. And what we're doing, we are unionizing convicted felons for the purposes of employment. Now, they tell you when you put in the application, if you check the box, that does not mean that you do not get the job. But we know the only way for a convicted felon to get his rightful place, as has been stated in the word that Jesus came that you might have life and have it more abundantly.
Absolutely.
Is to understand overall that we're here to bring some steep changes now, STEEP, some social changes, some technological changes, some environmental changes, some economical changes, and some political changes for the convicted felon.
Go ahead.
We need to understand that, and
That's awesome.
the why behind we doing this is because of 143 million foster children that do not have parents. And so each convicted felon, we plan to start companies and businesses for convicted felons. Every 30 days we will launch a new business. And that's why we're starting this program. So if you're a teenager with a felony, or you're a female with a felony, or you're a male with a felony, we want to invite you out to our meetings on Tuesday nights.
And have those Tuesday night meetings started already, or they're about to start, or what's your start date?
Well, right now, it's been tentatively been put in place because we've been bringing on the leaders, we've been bringing on the grant writers, we've been bringing on the people who can incorporate. We have met with a lot of people. Shirley Franklin had made a promise at Coretta Scott King funeral that she have not forgotten the convicted felons. But the only way a convicted felon is going to get the job that he needs, they're going to have to raise the FICA insurance so the companies can take the risk of hiring a convicted felon.
Wow.
So we have been to companies before. We have asked people to help us. We even went to companies and said, hey, we would give to you like United Way, March of Dimes. That employee, if given a second chance, will let you take out $12.50 out of their check, and then if you would give them a second chance each pay period. So if you gave 1,000 people a chance, that would be $25,000 per month that you could see as cash flow, positive cash flow. People said no. So our only recourse now is to unionize. And so we are excited about doing it. You can go out to www.lifesaversministries.net, click on the looking group. It'll tell you all about our vision and what we plan to accomplish. Every 30 days, we will be launching a new business, and we will be putting convicted felons to work. Here in Georgia, plan to take this all over 50 states.
Absolutely, and it's needed in all 50 states. And I would be willing to venture to say even outside the 50 states, it's needed. But we'll definitely start with the United States first.
Oh, wow. I'm excited because what we're committed to doing, we want to take some of the proceeds, help people to pay their probation, help them to pay their child support. We want to do profit sharing. We want to get in there. Our primary reason for me doing this is because of foster children. If I can get the convicted felons after time served to come in and give their testimonies to foster children all around the world with the belief system, because they don't have a mother and father, by them getting the wisdom, they are getting the wisdom without the wounds from the testimonies of people who have paid the price that they may not be incarcerated.
Wow. What tremendous vision, Pastor. I mean, I've never been God, never will be God, but I would be willing to bet that God is smiling down upon you even as we speak.
I'm very serious about taking up where Mother Teresa left off at.
I heard that.
So it's taken a very long time. We haven't seen anyone do anything, particularly for people in general, since Dr. Martin Luther King. Don't forget, it was a preacher that started the civil rights movement.
Wow. We do forget that, don't we? I mean, when y'all say we really do forget that, I mean,
Yeah, we do.
we can't leave God out of anything. In all honesty, we can't. What would you say now? I was listening to what you were saying a moment ago about even with you all's goal for $12.50, out of each, I take it each pay period or something like that.
Yeah, we was offering that to companies for a second chance. People was willing to pay for a job. Now, what should happen if that person would remain employed after 3 years? We're asking the company to give them all that money back.
I know that's right.
Because they proved to you that they was always abiding, unmovable,
Right.
and steadfast in what was the company policies and things. Not only that, we can start our own car wash companies right now, our own cab companies. There's a lot of jobs that we can start right now ourselves.
That's what I was going to ask you. What type of, you said car wash and the cab companies and
general contracting, internet cafes, things of this nature.
All the above.
And see, right now, if we went to Governor Sonny Perdue right now, we can fix Georgia economy within a heartbeat. All we have to do is bring back full service gas stations.
Hello.
And that will put immediate money back
How's
into
that
the
for a
economy.
stimulus package?
Right. I mean, so the vision is here. So if you're a church and you got $68 million in reserves and revenue, and what's the risk of you not wanting to take a chance on buying some of your members' houses? Because if they lost their job, you got enough members in apartments to move those people in.
Absolutely.
See, but we're not willing to take the risk. The only people who are free is the people who are still willing to take risk.
Absolutely. And I'm one of them. And I'm enjoying my freedom. Hallelujah. Amen. I like your passion about all of this. And gentlemen, I'm going to give you an opportunity in a moment to introduce yourselves.
Night turn to day, day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day, day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
Nothing coming to you free. It's called sacrifice for anything worth having, worth paying the price.
As you all know, we're talking about a very real situation. We have a lot of people that have had a felony on their record, and as a result, society has acted like no second chance. We're not going to hire you. We're not going to deal with you. And we all know that we have had second, third, fourth, fifth chances. Some of us have ran out of time and numbers for all the chances that God has given us. And so I'm bringing the story to you all because I wanted, for those of us that have lily white existences and don't know what it's like to not have a second and third chance, concerning our livelihoods, concerning our careers, concerning working in corporate America or whatever, I wanted you all to just kind of get a feel and get a real understanding of what it's like to have to constantly have your past follow you, even though you've outgrown your past, you've gone on to bigger and better things, but sometimes society won't let go even when you've let go and have moved on. So I'm happy to bring a special treat with you all. I have my baby brother who's taller than me, but he's still my baby brother. I always rub it in that I'm older than him. My baby brother, Leroy Kaufman. First of all, just to introduce yourself, tell us who you are and tell us what you do and the name of your corporation.
Okay, how y'all doing? My name is Leco Brown. The name of my company is Mason Inc. I'm in partnership with it with Rollo G. He is my other half. I'm here. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good, sis. I'm good, sis. We finna give these people something real to put on their mind.
And I appreciate you taking the time to even be willing to do this, because I know you dealt with trouble as a teenager, and I know a lot of teenagers that have. But you're nearing 30 now, grown men, have children, and handling your business. But yet, it's been over a decade and a half, and yet this tries to follow you. You don't have to necessarily go into what you've been convicted over unless you just want to.
Yeah,
but
I'm not ashamed at all.
Okay, tell us and talk to the young people, because there's a lot of young people that watch my shows, and I want the teenagers to pay special attention to what you're about to say.
Well, I mean, as a young person, I got a reputation of being a gangster. I sold a lot of dope.
Wow.
I carried a lot of pistols. I did a lot of whatever you can name on that you've ever seen, whatever knowledge of that lifestyle that you have. I did it. As a result, I caught a charge, a felony charge. Had to do a little time, came home, and was in a mindset of putting those things behind me to do better. You know what I mean? Like realizing that the cars, the girls, the money is so temporary if it's not something with a more solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? Hence the mason, the bricks, solid foundation.
I love it. So, I love that.
So moving past that, knowing that I wanted more for myself, I made that decision. Now, when you go from a certain kind of lifestyle, certain type of money, income to only legit paycheck to paycheck, things change. You know, your lifestyle has to fit your now new income.
Right.
In the course of all of this, I've been pursuing employment, legitimate employment, while I'm starting my own company. Because, quite frankly, after you get what I call an F on your report card,
Gotcha.
that felony. Once you get your F on your report card, like society-wise, you kind of like outcasted, seen as not as qualified as the next man who you could be more qualified than, but that doesn't have the F on the
I was
report
just
card.
going to say, you took the words out my throat. I was just going to say, just because the F might have been on the report card, it doesn't mean that the next man was more qualified. And if anything, it could just, or more capable. And if anything, it could just mean the next man didn't get caught.
And no excuses. No
Got you.
excuses, 'cause
Understand.
I already knew the life I chose, what I was going to
That
get
there were
into.
consequences that was
all
gonna-
of the consequences. I'm here, but that doesn't change the fact of what has to be dealt with, even still. So like pursuing normal jobs has been like an extreme task for me. I did my little time. I came home in 2002. Since 2002, I've had a piece of job after a piece of job since then, either because the job I pursued deemed me as unfit solely for my record. I've had interviewers tell me that they dreamed, but they could not move on me because of my record.
Wow.
And it's a thing where you get tempted. I felt the itch to go back to what I know can pay me, and to not have to deal with it. But
pay you immediately.
But in that situation, you have to have a principle set, a moral set, something to fall back on that's more solid than the itch. You see what I'm saying? So when I get my mind focused and I know what I said I wasn't going to do and what I know I don't want to do, and I know how that affects the people who love me around me, and I get back focused, then I'm still faced with the job of taking care of my family that I've made over this time.
Right.
But with
Because now you're about to be 29.
not as many options. Yeah, birthday coming up.
That's right, November 6th.
November 6th, about
That's what's up.
2-3 weeks out.
That's what's up.
If you ever see this and you want to give me a belated gift, nah,
Yeah, that's right. I got a post office box you all should know by now.
But seriously, like it's an epidemic. I know hundreds of brothers who went to prison, did whatever came about from their felony charge, who have put the life behind them to be more legitimate.
Gotcha.
And are absolutely losing their mind with frustration for how hard it is. They call prison and jail and different things probation. They disguise it as rehabilitation.
Disguise is a good word.
But it's never rehab. Rehab means just that. Like, I was in a place, I'm trying to get back to it.
Right. Like if you hurt your leg playing ball, once you go through rehabilitation, your leg is good again, and you back out on the court, back on the field. Exactly.
But that is not what it is.
The case,
like,
got you.
It follows you throughout. It follows you throughout, and
I think it's so unfair too.
It's absolutely unfair because they disguise it in your court system. When you go to court and in the paperwork, and if you talk to any legislative personnel, from a judge to anybody, officer of the court, any lawyer, prosecutor, they will all tell you rehabilitation. You ever heard of paying your debt to society?
Right.
All of that. That's what they tell you. But upon payment, they forget to tell you that you're going to keep paying.
Forever and a day.
And
almost like a credit card balance. If you're only paying minimum balance, it'll last forever.
Exactly.
And it keeps adding.
Yeah.
Because now you're closer to 30 than 16, I think, when all this started for you, and society has acted like it has not mattered.
Right, and despite facts that I put, I'm one of those people, I live off of facts.
Right.
Fact is, I sold dope. I got in trouble for it. Fact is, I've stopped. I have jobs, like I say, pieces of jobs that I either have to take a seasonal position, I have to take pay that can't even sustain me, let alone 4 kids that I have and my woman.
Exactly.
Or my household.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, since 2002 to it's 09 now.
Thank you. 7 years
if
later.
I was back in the life, we wouldn't even be standing here in front of this camera.
You're right.
Could I be too busy going to get that money?
Exactly. And can get the money.
But the thing is, it's not even appealing to me anymore because there are trappings within even selling dope that were designed, and you don't really get it. You don't really get to understanding it until you get into higher levels of the game, and you start seeing who's really pushing buttons. How is dope even getting over here? Don't we have customs?
Right.
Don't we have border control?
Exactly.
So that lets you know that it's an agreement that's above a lot of people's head.
Exactly.
And everybody on.
I like the way you put that in agreement.
Yeah,
someone is consenting to
think.
make this happen,
Marijuana.
and it ain't us.
Marijuana and cocaine is a major export of some countries. That's all I'm gonna say.
Exactly.
So,
that's right.
So
and we know what time it is, and all you're doing is confirming what we know.
So just saying all that to say, I've had my hardships as far as trying to be legit, and I'm continuing to have them, but I never stop trying because I have something that I believe in that's larger than the situation.
Absolutely.
I have my children.
That's right.
I have a legacy that I have to leave.
Absolutely.
To my family.
Absolutely.
So like, I mean, just really in a nutshell, don't do what I did and have to learn it the hard way.
I feel
like
you.
I learned it, the knucklehead way.
Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
Nothing coming to you free. It's called sacrifice. For anything worth having, worth paying the price.
There's still more to come. Back in a moment. Terri Dionne Wooten-Graham, commonly known as T-Dionne. There's nothing like church folk, where we'll deal with the good, the bad, and the unusual. I'm thinking to myself, you know, it's almost like as you've gone to some of these companies, and we see, you know, you can go to almost any company and go to their website and look under what their goals or what their input into the community. And sometimes I think they're just being politically correct, because when they're given an opportunity such as what you all have provided, then everybody gets to hemming and hawing, and everybody gets confused all of a sudden. All of a sudden the sky has gotten dark and everything's grown dim, and they just don't know what you're saying. But in reality, this is an opportunity to service our communities as well.
Definitely, because this November I will be preaching 20 years. So I'm at a point
I think we
now.
should clap for that. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm ready to make a difference. Now,
Yeah.
I know Dr. Martin Luther King did what he had to do, but until Gandhi got out of them suits, until Dr. Martin Luther King was willing to give up his rank, his right, and his respect,
Absolutely.
he couldn't make a difference. Jesus never pulled rank. He never said I was right. He never said I had to be respected. As a matter of fact, we got the only leader that did not kill nobody. It's people say a lot of things about Christians, but they don't say we holy. So we
Say that. You kept that real.
We got to really, really raise the bar now. This thing is not about milk and honey. It's about silk and money.
Huh? Woo. Throwing snaps behind the
People want
camera.
to provide for their families. People want to make a difference.
Including
People have served
convicted
their time.
felons.
Convicted
Including,
felons.
yeah.
Some of them got more degrees than a thermometer, but it does not mean nothing to a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
So we're going to create our own company. And by the way, this company will be for profit. We are a non-profit company, but when you start talking about creating companies and your business will come up under a holding company, you will be dealing with attorneys and accountants. We write business plans.
Absolutely.
We got the best in the business. These men that sit beside me, I mean, they have so many intellectual properties, I can't start to mention all.
Wow. Wow. Well,
Unionizing.
you know what?
convicted felons.
You know what, sir? I also think, as I get ready to introduce your henchmen, beautiful men of God, I'm gonna tell you that I think one of the ripple effects of what you all got going, I think the hearts of men and corporations are going to be revealed. I think everyone is going to, at some point, have to face themselves in the mirror and say, do I really mean what I say on my motto or my mission statement? Do I mean it when I say to give back to the community? Do I mean it when I say I want to give someone a second chance? I think what you all are doing, to be honest with you, is going to bring some accountability to all of us that say we love the Lord, to all of us that feel like the only ministry is behind the pulpit. I think it's just going to bring to accountability not just our corporations but our church folk.
Oh, yes.
Because it's something everybody can do.
Oh, the challenge is out there. I guarantee that we would give more money than any corporation ever given. I guarantee we would build hospitals. I guarantee our neighborhoods would change. I guarantee we'll be able to provide housing for people who work for us. I guarantee we'll be able to provide transportation. That we'll be able, if we wanted to buy 1,000 houses in bulk right now, what bank would ask me for a credit report?
Wow.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Ford, Chrysler, I can fix your problem right now. All you need to do is go to the high school students, get those parents to commit to pay $10 per month, and upon graduation date, based on their GPA, you'll give them this and that particular car.
Wow.
Is that a bailout? Yes, it is. I mean, we are ready. I mean, we are ready. We are an action-packed people. Listen, it doesn't matter if you come from the ghetto or the Gitmo. This is about God. This is about what He's able to do.
When it's all said and done, that's right.
More than we can think or ask.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm happy to say this, that I know that Dr. Martin Luther King couldn't have gotten it done if he didn't give up his rank, his right, and his respect, all for the sake of relationship. I'm willing to do that for the convicted felons because I know there's a greater good.
Well, you sound like somebody that has been loved by the Lord, still loved by the Lord, and not only loves God, but like I always tell the Lord nowadays, Lord, I don't just love you, but I'm in love with you.
Big difference.
And you sound like a man that's in love with God. Because when you get beyond loving God and get to being in love with God, like you said, respect, rights, what we talk about Corinthians chapter 13, the love chapter, we talk about all the things that love is, but we don't deal with what love isn't in that same chapter. Love is not easily offended. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you're saying.
Oh, we dealing with God, someone who sees 100,000 murders at one time.
Wow.
And so he still have not counted people out. And
Right.
For those of you who think God is not actually something to believe on, that God is weak or whatever you might think God is, let me clear this up for God.